Right, I'm here with Hayden Childs, and he is an ambassador for the Burnt Chef Project, and we're gonna have a little chat. So I'm super excited to have him here, all the way from Birmingham. He's come all the way to Manchester.
Just going in from a young chef point, or
Yeah, we can start with what it's like to be a young chef in hospitality. So how old are you?
so I'm 18. So I'm 19 actually. I turned 18. But I think 19 going into an industry where I think a lot of people rely on experience more than skill now. Like going into a job role, they always ask how old you are.
Yeah, they'll always base that on like how much experience you have, but you probably have more skills than someone that's
Yeah,
had 20 years of experience. You've probably got more skills.
I think it's difficult. Like, I don't know when you started working, but I started kitchen work at 13.
Wow,
So
that's
I've
crazy.
been working. So don't.
I've been doing this.
I've been here.
I started when I was like 16, 17 in kitchens. I started off pot washing, and then after that, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, to be fair. And I think no one talks about that stage where you're figuring out which part of the kitchen you want to be in.
No, exactly.
Especially, like for me, for pastry, it's like, do I want to be a baker? Do I want to work in like patisserie shop? Do I want to be a chef?
I think a lot of the reason people go into hospitality is because they like serving people. But in every section you serve people. And I think the Burnt Chef Project talks about is everyone in a kitchen team or hospitality and all together. They're all so good at like serving people, and they've all got the same thoughts on how they project themselves with working.
Yeah.
So like even with a cleaner, some people have so much care in making sure their rooms are perfect when they come in.
100%. I think the cleaners get like the least respect when they should get the most utmost respect. I think for me, when I see that, really like I struggle with is seeing like chefs really talk down to like KPs and stuff and cleaners. It really, don't know what it does to me, but I start to feel sick. I start to feel like really upset for them, because I'm like, these guys are just trying their best. They're just doing what they need to do.
Yeah, and most of the time they're in that space when they don't know what they want to do. So
yeah, they're just figuring it out.
I think what people don't realise is hospitality is a lot of people's first jobs.
Yeah.
Like going into front of house, going into the nearby pub or restaurant, that's a lot of people's first job. So just treating them with a respect that they don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah, like I think my first job was literally in a cafe. It's a tiny little cafe. Even at that point, I still wasn't sure like where I wanted to go. There wasn't much restaurants. I didn't have the confidence to even go into a restaurant and ask for like a job or anything. And then like it's hard being young as a young chef if you want to go in there but you don't have the experience on your CV either, and no one. And then that plays with your mental thinking you're not good enough because you don't have the experience. But that's because no one's giving you that chance actually.
Yeah, exactly. You can't earn experience, but if everyone's looking to have experience, you just can't.
Yeah, people.
But I think the best chefs or the best head chefs look for work ethic over experience.
100. My head chef, he's so great. Like, he's always, even if you've got like the tiny amount of experience or you're a KP or something, if you've got a KP who was a KP and now is a chef, we've given him that chance, and he's always watching and he's always learning. So is he the best chef? Probably not in the world, no, but he's still trying. So I think having a head chef that cares so much about people, like he doesn't really look at the experience you've got. He'd be like, are you a nice person? Like, you know, will you get along with the rest of the kitchen? Will you be able to click with people? That's what he looks for. He's not actually bothered about.
Yes, but how weird is that's like an abnormality? Like that's weird that there's a chef that cares. There's a chef that looks for hard workers, no experience.
Yeah, it is strange.
It's
and it should
completely
be
backwards to me.
Yeah, it should be more normalised to have chefs that are more bothered about the person you are. Because I bet, you know, I preach on my Instagram like there's people out there that are literally the worst people in the world. Like I've met chefs that have mentally made me like drain and cry and be upset, but they're literally terrible chefs.
Yeah.
Like you've got the skill, but you're a terrible person.
Yeah, that's the thing. A chef is a nice person. They're there to cook and serve, and they're doing really well.
Yeah.
Not if you're a horrible person and you're serving out great food, that's great for you. But what happens when service is over? Like, I think when people look for a good team, that's when it builds properly. Like a good team can do a better service than amazing
100.
people individuals.
This is probably the best kitchen. Like, this Ivy kitchen was probably the best kitchen I've worked in ever. And I think that's why, like, people will say to me, like, why do you not want to leave? Or I'm like, I do want to leave. I do want to find another job. But, like, this kitchen is so amazing. The people in there are so caring and so nice. And I think that's what we all just get through service like a breeze. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's great.
I think, why do you have to leave then? If you're enjoying it and you're getting pushed and you're getting challenged, I think there's such a big thing on just like pushing yourself to a limit that you don't want to reach.
Yeah.
Like some people don't. Like my not worst nightmare, but I don't want to work in a restaurant that turns everything into steam and smoke, and I want to enjoy the food I serve. So if I was,
you want to be happy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you wanna like Burnt Chef Project doesn't tell people not to work. It tells people to be the best chef they can be the best person you can be. But then on your days off, enjoy it.
Yeah, honestly, the amount of messages I've received off, like, I received one off a young girl and she was like, I'm working 16 hours a day, I'm not getting breaks, and I'm doing like 10 days in a row. And I'm like, why? I said, I've literally learned to just stop what I'm doing, take a breather. Like this week, it's been great for me. Just take a breather, sit, chill, go for a swim, go for a walk. But then you get those people that are like, you're not a real chef then if you're not working. So I think that's what plays on my mentality.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because people, so like, when I come from like a senior position now, like obviously I'm only 19, so we'll have people that are older than me, and I'll try to tell them what to do, and they're like, "Oh, what do you know? You're only 19."
Yeah.
And they'll say like, "Oh, you only did however many hours. Oh, I did this many. Well, that's great, but how many people did you actually treat well?" Or
yeah, exactly.
When I was 16, when I was 16, I moved to London and I was doing 105-hour weeks, and I lived there. And the sous chef there was the worst person ever. Like, I spoke about it in a couple like talks, but so I was on the pass, and I touched a sauce bottle, and I flinched because it was in boiling water, and the sous chef grabbed my hands and put them on a flat top and seared the hands, and just said, "You won't flinch again now, will you?"
That's literally insane.
And the worst part about this whole story is I just went, "Oh, okay, I won't," because you don't know how hard you're meant to be pushed or how badly you're meant to be treated at that age. It's a horrible thing. And Burnt Chef Project, it just tells you how industry is amazing. I'll always preach this hospitality. Hospitality is the greatest job of all time. There's no other job where you can see like an instant feedback of, I really enjoyed the food.
Yeah.
And no one goes out to eat out of like, oh, fine, I'll just go out to eat. Like, it's all, I want to enjoy the time, I want to enjoy the company, the food. There's no other job that I can imagine where it's just such an instant gratification.
It's just, I think it's one of those things that I don't think it will ever end. Like, it's just one of those jobs that's just going to keep going and keep going. Yeah. Like, my friends are like, why are you a chef? Like, you never get time to do anything. And I'm like, the thing is, I don't really want, like, I do have the time, but I like being at work. I actually like being at my job. I like, writing these little plates for people celebrating something and knowing that, or like, I've had to write people are getting married, or, will you be my girlfriend? And I'm like, it just gives me like some joy that people are coming here and you're just making their day.
Exactly.
I think that's what makes me happy.
And I think with a good team, kitchen hours can be bad. Kitchen hours, like, there's no against it. You can be on an open close. But with a good team, something about hospitality is the time just goes so quick. When a big team, at the moment, no. So, on like a Saturday service, we'll probably have 4 chefs, 2 pot washers, and then however many out front, and that's serving like 100 people. But so I'm a sous at a 3 rosette restaurant, so it's more like, it's a bit more refined. But so I was working in a hotel in London, where all this bad stuff happened, and when I came back to Birmingham, that's when I met my girlfriend, and I almost really valued my time away from work.
Yeah.
So you almost don't. I think a bad stage in my mental health was I only felt personal worth when I was working. So I think that's a problem with the younger chefs, is I didn't feel valued unless I was working. So unless I was serving food, I didn't feel like I was doing any good. And then I met my girlfriend and I realised, oh, you can do stuff in your time off, or you can enjoy when you're not working, and it almost gives yourself like self-worth is basically what I
Yeah.
found when I found something outside of work.
I feel like there's a lot of chefs out there that are like that, especially out like around our age. 'Cause I'm 25 and I'm only just finding like this past year, only just finding the time to just like breathe and like relax, because I just felt like I had to keep working, I had to keep doing this. And it is very much like self-validation to just be at work all the time, to know that you're good. There's so many young chefs that get messaged me like, I'm working so many hours, and I'm like, you can take a breather. Like, it doesn't make you any less of a chef. It doesn't put your self-worth down. Like, you're still great. It's just mentally up here, you're thinking that you shit because you're not working as hard as someone that's working 5 more hours than you. But for what?
Yeah.
It's
An amazing quote that band chefs say is that rest is productive.
yeah.
So if you're draining yourself out or burning yourself out, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. So if you could take some time away and even go out for food and try some other restaurants and enjoy what other people are enjoying, then you can understand better how to be in a kitchen. So in hospitality especially, you can get so much experience from even just being on the other side of the pass and just enjoying food and seeing how they play and seeing how they serve. I think, especially with social media and Candice's social media, it's really available to us to learn on social media, looking at pictures, or
Yeah.
I know Fala restaurant, they're doing a lot of like recipes, and that's a top restaurant in London that are just showing you how to make everything and work in a kitchen of that caliber before you even have to step behind a pass.
I think social media is just so important in general. I think it gets looked down on so much, especially from my perspective, it gets looked down on so much. Just people think like you're wasting your time, but it's amazing. This, for me, the reason why I do it now, it was just for fun, and it was just for me to just share like what I'm doing in a day for my friends and family to see. But now I'm like, there's a young girl out there, or there's a young guy out there, there's someone out there that's looking at me and thinking, you know, someone said to me like I'm a real inspiration. I'm like, how? Like, what am I doing? But then if that works for them and I'm inspiring them to, they're finding the good in the kitchen, they're seeing that it's actually positive in a kitchen, then it's worth it, I suppose. So.
100%. If you can impact one person, then it already becomes worth it.
100%.
It's only up from there.
Yeah, it does good and it's nice, and I just feel like it's also helped me realise as well that I need to chill out. Like, I need to take time to relax. Like you were saying with your girlfriend, like I met my boyfriend at Ivy. He worked in a different kitchen to me, and seeing someone else struggle, because he was struggling a little bit as well, and seeing someone else struggle, it made me think a bit differently and think that, okay, I think we actually need to chill out, take a day off, go for a walk, be outside, like. And now seeing like how different work environments has affected him sometimes is wild to me. I think he worked at this one place and it was really, I'm not going to name it, but it got really stressful for him. And later that day he had a seizure. So that wasn't great. And his seizures come when it's like down to stress. So when he has a seizure, it's usually when he's really, really, really tired and burnt out. And then before he was leaving that job, they were really nasty to him. He had another seizure. So that's played on his mind again. And I know that he's stressed about it. And now he's moved to this really nice new Italian restaurant up the road. Gorgeous, stunning. And he's not had a seizure since. He's so happy. So I really think like, it's not actually the kitchen that are to blame. It is the people that can have effects on your mentality. And he's shown me that, like, you know, if he wants to go for a walk, I'm like, yeah, we actually need to go for a walk. Like, I don't think I need to, but let's just go anyway.
Yeah. I think that's such a sign of how mental health can lead on to physical health.
Yeah, it shocked me because obviously I don't think he's epileptic, but it's just more about how the fact that someone can have a seizure just down to stress, down to a workplace, and how that hospitality side really, really knocked him back. And then it affected him more physically because he dislocated his shoulders, couldn't work. So then he was more upset that he couldn't be in the kitchen and doing something that he likes because of the stress of other people. So that really shocked me, took me back.
No, I think speaking about that with your platform is so amazing because if you're from a position where you are being horrible in a kitchen and you hear a story like that, that would knock you back.
Yeah. Have you ever like wanted to leave a kitchen, like just because it's been the worst?
So I, as I said, did 105-hour days. So there was a story in London. So so I'd live there. So I'd come down at like 5 a.m. To get ahead of my prep. So my shift started at 6, but I was going down every service. So I'd come in an hour early. We'd leave at like 1. And I remember walking past like cleaning closet.
Yeah.
And someone was in there asleep because they said they couldn't. They were in a rush on their prep, and you'd see someone there and you'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" But me going upstairs and sleeping however much I could isn't that dissimilar.
Yeah.
I think. So someone I was speaking to was having a really hard time at work, and they work for a big chain. They're around the world, and they rang the head office and just said like, I'm really, really down. Like we talk all the time. So they thought they were really close to head office.
Yeah.
And the head office rang them and said, oh yeah, can we just have your employee number? And that's when he realised he was just a number on a screen. They didn't even know his name. And he was in charge of like a region for this big investor. And that really took him back. And he's disliked hospitality since then.
It's a shame actually.
And he came to work for me while I was at a restaurant early this year, and we spoke about it. And people get put off by hospitality, as they should almost. If they've been put through a bad experience, you're not going to want to work there.
No, it's fair.
And it was really lucky for me that I managed to catch him just before he was going to leave, because I really just preached hospitality about how amazing it is. And luckily, he managed to stay with me, and he came with me when I moved to be a sous here, and we're really close. But it's just how horrible it's so close to leaving. And I think
it's really bad.
So I do college talks through with the band chef, and I did a college talk to these people that are like 16, 17, and it was horrible to hear how many people have already been through these heartbreaking experiences. But it's in the studies as well. When you're in college, you can be treated poorly as well. I remember there was a lecturer and he was shouting at this student, which was completely uncalled for. So I stood up against him and just said, like, please, can you stop like knocking him down? Like, there's no need for it. And he said, for you shouting at me, I'm going to take you off the cooking team, like for this competition. And so he used his power to almost keep me in my seat, to stop me speaking out. And I think that's just horrible to know that people are just using their power to stop you doing what's good.
Yeah, and just some people just don't like you to succeed either as well. I think there's only been like 2 times that I've wanted to quit, and it's like, I always say to people, don't ever blame the workplace. Like, it's not the building, it's not the kitchen, it's the people that will tear you down. When I first joined, there was I'm happy to share the story anyway, but they see it. But yeah, I had no problem with her, she had no problem with me, but it turns out she did have a problem with me for some reason that I never knew of, and she literally made my shifts a living hell. Like, every single time I used to go home, I think I was only 3 months in Manchester, and every night I'd just go home and I'd be in tears crying to my parents, like, I want to come home, like, can we just pack everything and move? Like, I'll find a job, I just don't want to be in Manchester anymore. I was like, this is horrible. And they were like, no, Candice, you need to stay. You need to push through it. You need to be mentally strong and fight through it. And she just continued to just dig at things, make things worse for no reason. And a lot of people didn't like her either. So it wasn't just me. And I'd always wonder, like, why no one said anything. And it's because it's not like she held any power either, but it's just her confidence and her demeanor where she just made people feel a bit low. And then I think one time she just said something to me, and I think, I had to put some bread in the oven, and she was like, what's it got to do with you? And I say, it's my job. And she she just said it so harshly. And I think at that point, I just remember grabbing my stuff from the kitchen and I just was about to walk out. Went to the changing rooms, got changed. A sous chef though saw me and he saw me crying. I was literally bawling my eyes out, ready to leave. They put me into the office with managers, people in there, like human resources department. My head chef was in there, another sous chef, and they were asking me what's wrong. And I just said, I don't come to work to get bullied. I said, I don't get paid to get bullied. This is not why I've moved here. I said, I shouldn't come to an environment where I'm getting bullied for no reason apart from being myself. And then they spoke with her and she just left. And I think that's because someone actually finally stood up and actually said something to her. And prior to that, actually, prior to that, she even had a fight with someone else, like a physical fight with another girl. And I think at that point, I was like, if none of you are seeing what's wrong in this situation, like, there's one clear denominator and one clear problem that we need to just get rid of. Like, stop being nice. And then another time, I think it was this guy who just wanted to use his power and his title to try be above me and use that as an excuse. He was like, we come from a place of hierarchy. You're down here, I'm up here. And I was like, that's got nothing to do with this subject. I said, I don't care which position you're in, because as soon as we leave this building, we're both the same level. We're both just people. We're both just human. And I think that's what upsets me more, is that a lot of the time people will use their title and their position to just belittle you, make you feel small because they've got this title in work and they've got a little bit more power. And I spoke about this on Instagram, how I think I did like that propaganda I'm not falling for. And I said that protecting toxic chefs just because they do. And I think a lot of places do that. They will protect a toxic chef for no reason whatsoever, because they're afraid or they're scared, and they just use their power above them to just make everyone else feel shit. And I think those are the only two times I've thought, like, I just want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
yeah, I think you don't become a sous chef to get more power. You become a sous chef because to gain more responsibility.
Yeah, and
so
respect.
You more have to take on a more personal role when you become a sous chef. Like, you've got a lot of people under your wing that are really going to be influenced by you.
Yeah.
And I think, especially as a young influencer as yourself, like, there's so many people that will look up to you going into the industry. And the college talks, for me, people that wasn't sure what industry they wanted to go into. If I came in and was just like, this industry's terrible, this industry's the worst, like, everything happens that's bad. No. Yeah. As you said, some of the people are bad, and that's horrible that the people are bad and people use their power, but the industry is amazing, and it can be amazing if people just really learn respect. If they just learn respect.
And it's so good to have people like you, because I feel like, I think even if you went on social media, if more people like heard you speak, like, you're so passionate about what you do, you know what's good for you and you know what's good for other people. So I think when people listen to this and see this, they'll be more motivated. And even when you do these college talks, I can imagine more people are more like inspired to do it because it's believable from you. It's so believable. And like, if you came to me, if like 16-year-old Candice, and you said the industry is great, I'd believe you. And I'd have more trust and more faith in it. Yeah. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of people like us that are happy to speak up about it.
I think it is really difficult when people do get put off by the industry. There's obviously going to be, so if one person gets a bad experience, then they tell 5 of their friends, and 6 people have got a bad respect from hospitality. But then again, if one person has a fantastic experience or loves it a lot and can take to influencing, like, you now influence 17,000 people on how good hospitality is. Yeah?
I think we've gone up now.
Gone it? 18?
On Insta. I think TikTok's almost 10. Yeah. Insta's like 35 now.
So 45,000 people.
Scary.
45,000 people listen to your opinion on hospitality. So if you preach it and just think how amazing it is, and the Burnt Chef Project have 65,000. I don't know what they've got on TikTok. So together we're influencing about 110,000 people.
It's very scary, but I think it's also the best thing you can do.
Exactly, it's amazing. And if I can get one person to rethink hospitality out of 110,000, then it's worth anything I did.
100%.
Because we've got to think we're the new generation, so we're the head chefs that are going to have to respect the younger generation. So if we're all trained up on it, how amazing is hospitality going to be in 10 years?
I think if it keeps going the way it's going, I just think a lot more people need to be more open-minded about young chefs. They just need to give us a time, because I've said to some chefs before, like, you was once my age, you was once literally 17, 18, and you were still learning. So allow us to do the same, because, I promise, like, I just know that in the future, I'm hoping we just make a change in the future. That's more what I want. And even just little things like, obviously that big group chat I made, there's like 600 people in there, which is crazy for me, because it's like, I only expected about 50 people to want to join that group, and now 600 people are in there talking amongst themselves, sharing recipes, helping each other out, giving each other advice. And that's why I want to do these, I want to try to do these chefs meetups around the UK. And I think it would be good. It would just be good, like, to have someone like you as well there to talk to them and speak to them, and hopefully just bring more young chefs together.
Yeah, it's making a conversation about it, isn't it? As soon as we're speaking on mental health, then it gets out there. Yeah, I think the college talks, the panel talks,
Yeah.
it's just, even just meeting in person or these group chats, it's just talking about it and conversing about it, about wanting a better industry. If we all want it, it will happen. Burnt chef, I think it's not the young people the young people are pretty set on, like, they just want to work hard and enjoy the industry.
Yeah, they just want to cook.
They just want to cook and they just want to serve.
They just want to cook. Like, that's all we want to do is just cook.
So with the Burnt Chef Project, we offer courses that help the management team learn how to spot mental health, because some people do just want to cook and they want to be there the whole time and they don't realise how bad that is.
I think one thing that I want more of is more females to join the kitchen. But I think they just find it so difficult because, again, I get messages about young girls, literally 17, 18, that just get sexualized so much. And it puts them off, and it just breaks my heart, because it's like, you shouldn't even be having that in the kitchen. Like, just come to work, like, have some self-control. But obviously, I've said so many times that, like, the hospitality industry, especially in kitchens, is mainly male dominated, which is fair, it's a fact. Not saying it's everywhere, but there's more male chefs than there's females, because a lot of the time we get put off because we don't want to get sexualized at all. And it does happen a lot. It happens far too much.
Well, even one time is far too much. It's something you shouldn't even have to think about having.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. I worked in one place, and it's like, I feel like there's a stigma of female chefs need to, like, I remember a guy saying to me, he's like, you don't look like a chef. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're too girly. He's like, you've got long hair, you're too girly, you don't look, like, rough around the edges, etc. And it kind of bugged me, and I'm like, what do you want me to look like? Because you just shouldn't have, you're a chef, you don't need to have a say on what I look like, what my body looks like. Like, I just want to come and do my job. And a lot of girls, they do want to just go and do their job. And it's a shame that I had one girl say she was too scared to speak up about someone that was being very sexist to her and sexually inappropriate to her, actually. And I texted her and I said, you need to speak up and say something. And she said she was too scared because she doesn't want to get kicked out. And I said, if you got kicked out from your job because of that, you don't need to be in that place. And so there's so many better places for you to work at.
But that's a horrible worry to have to face. Yeah. So I work closely with another Birmingham ambassador, and she's got a couple of her own businesses. She started her own catering company, and the amount of heartaching stories of just people expecting her to be male almost because she's so good at her job. It shouldn't matter what the chef looks like at all, no matter what gender. It shouldn't matter what the plate looks like or what their personality is. Their looks doesn't have anything to do with it.
things like that. That's why women don't want to become chefs, because they're too scared to be around male chefs. And I think one girl, she said she didn't take a job because she would have been the only girl in the kitchen. It's the only reason she didn't take a job, because she was the only female. She didn't feel comfortable to be around a group of men, which is a shame, because not all men are horrible, evidently. So, yeah, it's a touchy subject for me, to be fair, because even sometimes I don't want to work in a kitchen full of guys. But this happens to be the only kitchen I've worked in with. Majority of them are guys, and they're honestly the most kindest, sweetest people I've met in a long time, and like got no bad words to say about them actually. So yeah, it's a shame that most girls just don't want to work in kitchen.
Yeah, you don't even know what to say when you hear stories like that, because it's so.
It plays a lot on your mentality. It really does. Like, not this place obviously, but a place I worked at before when I was younger. Like, I remember like a guy touched me, touched my ball, but I just remember myself. I didn't even like do anything. I just kind of stood there. I think I just froze. I didn't really say anything. I just kind of let it go behind my head. And then I remember like going to my mum and telling her like what happened at work. She was like, she needs to leave. She was like, you can't work in a place like that. It is bad. And I'm not the first girl to ever have that kind of problem either. So I think sexism in kitchens is still around, unfortunately.
But we did a talk to UCB Birmingham, and did a talk to the catering department, and 43% of the people going into the industry were female in the talk we did. And having Angelina Adamo, such a powerhouse in the industry, to really preach to the girls going in, it's amazing. She's opening a new restaurant in Jewelry Quarter called Vienny, which is going to be amazing, and she wants a female-led team. Obviously, she's female, so she's going to lead it. She wants a female team, just to flip the script. Like, why should it be just men?
Yeah.
Why should... It baffles me. What someone said to me, that they don't understand why men are so against females in the kitchen, when a couple of years ago the stigma was females should be in the kitchen.
Yeah,
so why does it...
I never understand that. I get what you're saying when people are like, oh, women belong in the kitchen, get back into the kitchen.
Then it's the same sexist people that don't want them in the kitchen at the highest level.
So yeah, so it's very confusing for us, because we know that like we belong in the kitchen, but then we get told we shouldn't be in the kitchen, we're not strong enough to be in the kitchen. There's just little things that just like bother people so much. Like the amount of comments I've had about little things about my hair, or I think the biggest revelation was me having arm hair that was unhygienic apparently. And it's just little things that I think that's what puts women off, is that they do get like picked at, like get nitpicked at for little things. And it's very annoying. Or, I've had comments about how I tie my apron. I'm like, yes, because I'm smaller than the average man, and if it's one size fits all, it's one size fits an average guy. It's literally not gonna fit a woman, So that's why I worked with another brand, and she makes chef jackets for women.
Amazing.
Honestly, they make you feel so much more confident. I don't know what it is about them, but as soon as I put one on, I feel like I'm walking through the kitchen like invincible. Like no guy can tell me nothing. Whereas like if I'm in the normal one, I feel like a little bit less.
What brand is that?
But she's called Funky Chef.
Okay.
She is incredible. They are a bit on the expensive side, but I think it is worth it. If I'm honest, like I've got a couple, and she does them in all sorts of colours. Obviously, she does black, white, but then does like ones with patterns, colours to fit your personality. And like, if you're working in a normal kitchen, yeah, black, white will do. But if you've got your own business, or you're a baker, like pastry chef, etc., like she's got so many, and it just make you feel so much more confident. Like
it's amazing that businesses like that are coming through it, because that's what I mean. Like with the young chefs coming in, there's going to be so much influence of what we want is going to come through the industry. Like how we want our industry to be is going to be like that when we're in terms of management. Especially when I had my first like leadership role. So as I said to you earlier, I was a head chef when I was 17. So obviously when I was 16, I had a bad experience with a head chef, and someone said to me, "Did you get put off being in a leadership role or being in hospitality because you were treated badly?" And it was the complete opposite. I wanted to become a head chef or become in a role of leadership so quickly that I could then lead the team how I want it and lead with the respect and care for every one of my staff. Hot washers are the best people ever. They're so funny, and there's times where I'll just find myself in the pot wash room losing track of what I'm doing because they're just amazing people, and the people that just don't care for them is baffled to me. Like they're the people that are making sure your pans are perfect, so when you cook on them, their food goes out well. Or I worked in a place where we had cleaners clean up the kitchen after we left, and people would make a mess, more of a mess, because they knew they weren't cleaning it. That's like making their job so much more difficult just because they find power in it, in demeaning someone. It doesn't make any sense to me. So when I have a bad experience, it makes me more like I need to become in a level of power I can treat people with respect that other people maybe don't. And it frustrates me when people are like, "Oh, you don't belong here. You're young," or you don't. I remember saying to my head chef here, I sent out this massive, like this really nice starter, this really nice birthday plate as well. So I put a lot of work into this birthday plate. And front of house took it out and they said, "Oh, do you want to come out and give it to them?" And I said, I don't think they'd enjoy knowing they've just paid a lot of money and know their chef was 19 or 18, because I've been trained where like people don't want to know that you're young because they also don't think you've got the experience. And the head chef just said, "It's amazing that you're this young and you can do that. It's not bad that you're young."
Like, it's incredible. Like, if this is what you're like now, like, I would love to see what you're going to be like at my age. I say that like I'm old, but I'm not. But like, just even a couple years can make a difference on someone. Like, so if this is what you're like now, God knows where you're going to be in the future. And like, I just think you will inspire so much people. I feel like this is going to inspire so many people.
I think all these stories or all this like points of interest just leads down to it shouldn't matter. It None of this should matter. The only thing that should matter is work ethic and what you put out on the paths. It shouldn't matter anything behind the scenes, what you look like, how old you are, where you're from, what gender you are. It doesn't make it baffles me to think
It really baffles me.
because in a closed kitchen or in a kitchen, the people out front don't care. If they get a nice plate of food and they can enjoy their meal, they don't care. And I think that's such a big thing of like, why should we care?
I think it has a really big knock-on effect to people's mental health as well.
100%. And that knock of confidence, like, I think your name carries so much individuality that the fact he's had to drop it so he can get a job.
Yeah, like, and it said that his parents obviously did that for him. I was like, it's a shame that they had to do that for you. And like, my boyfriend, he's not British. He is half Hungarian, half Serbian. And I remember he went through a phase of like applying for jobs for like 3 months, and he just wouldn't get anything or anywhere. Like, he was always so upset and sad, or like he just got really to a big point of just being like depressed for a while because he was struggling that much, and people were judging him based on his experience as well. Like, a lot of the restaurants he was working in, they got shut down or they got closed down like around COVID time. So it's not like he was there a while. So a lot of places were judging him for that, and I just think it just had a huge knock-on effect to his mental health. So to see that he's in a workplace that's much better than that makes his mental health a lot better. It's good. And when you see people at work that do struggle with their mental health, you do want to help them as much as you can. I used to work with one guy, and he was just always really like upset, angry all the time, and it wasn't like, and it was due to how people treated him at work. Like, for some reason, they would just single him out, and it wasn't the nicest thing to watch. But it just shows that, like, when you move somewhere else, or you move away from people that are like narcissistic, they're just nasty people, they don't care about you, they just care about themselves. It's great when you move away from those people, and then your mental health just so much better. I think I've really struggled with my mental health. But I think that's why I started social media, to be fair, to just share it and talk about it, because no one talks about it. Really, not enough. Not enough, obviously.
The best way to avoid it is to talk about it, and that's what's amazing. The Burnt Chef Project has over 200 ambassadors that are all outreach. I think I've reached 1,000 people, like just speaking to them in person, just about the Burnt Chef Project. And if you think there's 200 people, that's so many people they're talking about. The fundraising, they've got a mental health call line, so helpline for chefs, not for people in hospitality, not just chefs. There's so many areas of industry that need change. All of them, in fact. I mean, the bar team sometimes will just come in like drunk because of a way to deal with it.
Yeah.
There's so many people that just don't know how to deal with how they feel on the inside because they've got a team that don't care, and that's a horrible thing to know and realize. But I've gone into job interviews, and people have obviously seen my CV, and they've seen I've worked in Michelin restaurants, like big hotels. And so I'll go into a job interview and we'll talk on the phone, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you're amazing. Like, we're really excited to come meet you."
Yeah.
And they'll see how young I am when I meet them in person, and they go, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were this young." Like, I came back from London from this 5-star hotel. I'm not gonna name it, but I have done in person. And coming back from that, trying to get into this 2 Michelin star restaurant, I was in there immediately because they knew I had a hard work ethic. And then I joined a restaurant early this year as a sous chef, and none of the staff respected me because of how young I was, and especially joining a restaurant as a sous chef.
Yeah, it's so hard because you've got to automatically gain that respect.
Yeah, and when you're knocked down a couple pegs because you're so young, it's so hard to leave from that sense of respect. Like, I was on a section which you had to delegate, and trying to delegate to a chef at twice your age who's just like, "Oh, can you not handle your prep?"
Yeah.
So I remember there was a really nice restaurant, and it was loads of covers, and someone would be like, "Oh, can you not handle it?" So you'd end up taking on more to show you can handle it. And so I'd do like 80-hour weeks just doing other people's preps. I was doing garnish, pastry, and helping on starters. When this garnish section was the hardest section you've ever seen, like 80 covers, like a whole, like you couldn't even imagine like 8 different components for like 15 different menus.
Yeah.
And from someone that's then got to lead a team as well, the head chef wasn't around enough, so
It's a shame you had to do that to prove yourself.
it's so hard to prove yourself when you just don't need to. Like, experience is a luxury. Like, it'd be amazing for me to have worked for 25 years, working as hard as I can, and working in these nice places. But
it's like, for young people, it's impossible for us to have 40 years of experience, 30 years, 25, because we have to grow up, we have to go to school. Yeah, so that's 10 years knocked off, and then like someone said I've had like 8 years, but that's not enough for someone that's not enough for someone else that's got 15 over me,
Yeah.
30 over me. So
But give me experience.
Yeah,
like
like,
let
that
me
is
work
it.
for you. Let me work as hard as I can. Give me that experience so I can. That's what I love about hospitality is the people around me and the people who I'm friends with are obviously in hospitality as well. It's going to become our industry.
It will.
We're going to be able to take charge and care for the young people coming in. And I think hospitality 20 years ago was a horrible place to be. So I've heard.
Yeah, my head chef tells it's
Tell stories that you can imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine in even 5 years now, looking back, people are going to be like, what? There was sexism, there was
Yeah.
anything. Or hopefully, because we're leading this industry into something where we want it to be, a place where we want it to be. This is going to be such an amazing industry where we can all remember why we do it, remember we care for everyone, and put out the best food we can without having to worry about what we look like. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, like just what our skills, like our hands have, like that's all that really matters. And it's just, you know, when you see I've had messages like, oh, these kitchens are turning too soft nowadays, and I'm like, we're not turning soft. We're just you don't need to shout. We don't need to, you know, be aggressive. We don't need to be physical. We don't need to be sexist. We don't need to do any of that to have an impact. Like, that's not actually helping the industry at all. And that's why, like, that head chef that I'm with now, he's a family man. He's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a dog, and that, like, for me, that says a lot to me. So I'm like, you know, you actually care. You care about people. He'll always help people out. There's none of that in the kitchen. If there was any, they'd be out the door straight away. Like, there's none of that. And it's like when you build a team up, you're very like a big dysfunctional family. So as soon as, you know, you get a new person that comes in and they're a little bit, you know, trying to be too much, that's when it's... Because I've had to build myself up from... Because I didn't go into IB as straight as head pastry chef. I was just a commie. So started from the bottom and then worked my way up, and then I had to gain the respect of the sous chefs, and now I have their respect, and now I have the respect of not even just the head chefs and the sous chefs, but like the managers, the bar team, the waiters, the runners. Like, you have to gain their respect as well, because if they don't respect you, they're not going to like you. They're not going to help you with service, because it's just a team altogether, really.
Mm-hmm. Is there any tips you'd give to a young chef coming into this industry?
I think just be a sponge and soak up every little bit of knowledge that you can, and just be confident and just trust yourself with that. Like, even if someone's got a little bit more knowledge than you, learn from them and soak up their knowledge as well. Like, and just never stop learning. Like, never, ever stop learning. Even I'm going to Paris in December for 2 weeks just to go to school for 2 weeks and learn more and just keep going. And I think learning's just the best thing you can do mentally, physically. Take a breather, take a break, learn to eat better, actually.
Yeah.
I've noticed that's one thing that had a knock effect on me is not eating properly.
100%.
I think chefs don't eat properly. That's another thing that one talks about.
I think...
Like, do you have, like, good meals?
Good meals. What is that?
Like,
No, I think that's what I really care for staff food.
Yeah.
People that don't put any respect into staff food, no one wants to eat your rubbish soup. No one's getting full from that.
Yeah.
Sometimes staff food is someone's only meal, so make it. Sometimes just using nice food, putting a bit of care into it is all you need. Like, to build team morale and let teams enjoy each other. Don't make everyone work in silence with their head down because they're all going down. I remember walking home from work thinking about my mise en place for the next day, knowing I'm not going to be able to talk to anyone. That's such a horrible place
Not
to be
even
in.
like what you're going to do when you get home, what you're going to relax. I feel like that is one big tip. I think just look after yourself. Like, your body is your temple. Like, you need to look after yourself so much. I've only just started to try eat better, because I will go like 12 hours without drinking any water. I'll have like a little chocolate bar to last me the whole day. And like, mentally, I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, that's really not good. And then I'll go home and I'll feel shit, and then I'll feel crap, wake up feeling shit. And it's bad, but we actually need to look after ourselves, drink water,
can't look after anyone unless you've looked after yourself first.
Basically, you can't be a good chef, you can't be a good leader
No.
if you're not feeling like great, you know. I wake up, I make sure I have breakfast in the morning, even if it's just a yogurt, like go home, or like I make sure I have, you know, some people commenting on to me like, oh, you actually get a break? Like you get a break in the kitchen, aren't you lucky? And it's like, it's not that I'm lucky, I'm choosing to take my break. I used to think that I'm weak if I just don't take my break. So, you know, if I did take a break, I'm even weaker. So, but then I realized, I was like, no, actually, it's good to take a break. It's fine. And, you know, especially during the summertime, these heat waves.
Oh, it's been brutal.
I can imagine. People have been like, oh, try working in this many degrees. I'm like, it's not a competition. Just drink water. I'm literally advising you to drink water, go into the freezer and chill out. Like, it's fine. And I think that's something I keep preaching on socials, is like everything that I'm doing in these videos, even if it's like, obviously sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm not serious on there, but I try to drill into people's heads that take your break, eat food, relax. I think I made a video of me and my friends. We just went out to a big field playing frisbee because we all had the evening off. And so we got an evening off. I was like, yeah, you can take the evening off. Yeah. You can do these things. So like,
you can enjoy it on the way.
You can enjoy life being a chef. I think people don't think there's a work-life balance, which is a shame. Have you got any advice that you'd give to someone, to your younger self?
I think youngest. I think use your trial shifts as a way to view the kitchen, as opposed to them getting to look at you and how hard you work. Can you find yourself working in this place? Like, a trial shift is such a good eye opener where you haven't signed a contract, you don't have to work for them. If you don't see, if there's someone your age and they're not being respected well, maybe don't join that place, because they're not going to respect you, and that's such a heartbreaking thing to have to worry about. But use your trial shifts to view them, and like interview the head chef, and work out how you're going to be treated, and if you're going to be treated nicely.
Yeah.
Because we've got a chef community with a couple Michelin star chefs in Birmingham, and they recommend, like, if you're taking on a full-time role, do a week stage there. Do a week, basically a week work experience, and see if you fit into the place or you'd like working there before you sign the contract, and figure out too late where it's just, oh, now you feel like you're stuck. Even if you're in a place where you're not getting treated well, just look for a new place, because it's not like that everywhere. And it's becoming less like that in more places, but there are still places out there where you will get treated like rubbish.
Yeah, and I think when I went to Ivy for my interview, I think when I was like walking through the kitchen, I noticed a lot of the chefs were young. So I think that's what attracted me to it. So I was like, he's clearly not bothered about age. And then the pastry team, it was like different ethnicities, backgrounds.
I mean, one of the best chefs in the country, someone that changed how we look at fine dining, like Heston Blumenthal obviously deals with bipolar, and he's only just realised how harsh it affected his life outside of work. But it just took someone to just say, like, this isn't right, you're working so much. I think it took him 100 hours to get a new dish on the menu, and it would change every week. There's not that many hours in a week.
No, you're just working through the night at that point. Like,
I think he said he got like 8 hours sleep every 3 days.
Yeah, it's really bad. And I think
and that's someone of such a high influence. Like, if you look at the Great British Menu before Heston, it was meat and 2 veg. Just done that.
And now it's so complicated.
He's revolutionised it, but there's people at that level that don't realise how much of a toll mental health can take. And that's why it's amazing Burnt Chef can teach management and people in the high areas of it. And I like going to like the competitions I go to. Even if I'm not flattered in Burnt Chef, it means I can talk about Burnt Chef to the competitors.
Yeah.
And I think just competitions is such a great way to show your skills, not prove yourself. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone but yourself. Like,
that's why I always like make these desserts at home, and people like ask why I'm doing it at home. I'm like, because it's just for me.
yeah,
It's
enjoy it.
literally just for me. There's day in, day out, I'm like researching and watching TV shows about cooking. I'm just watching so many baking programs and patisserie programs, scrolling through Pinterest on like plating ideas and what I can do. And then I think I did a dessert, and then someone else like tagged me in there. It's like inspired. They were inspired by me, and I was like, that's all it is for me, I think.
But that's what I mean about hospitality. Like, we enjoy it. Like, we spend our time away from hospitality researching or looking on TikTok about it. And that's what's amazing about social media and what Candice is doing is it offers such an outside line in where you can look from an outside point of view and see what they're doing. I know there's someone who in my uni degree, and he messaged you about what to do for his plate of dessert final exam, and to have that level of influence of just people just look up to someone that enjoys what they're doing, and that's what it is. It might not be that Candice is the best pastry chef, but she might enjoy it the most, and she might show that level of enjoyment that people can enjoy doing stuff. There's not a level of industry that people have to reach.
Yeah, like
There's a level of happiness people should want to reach where they're like really enjoying what they do. And there's no other industry that I can think of where people are enjoying it and taking pictures of dishes they put out.
Yeah, like I said to people, you don't need to be the best. I said I don't even want to be the best pastry chef in the world. Like I just want to be the best of like my mum. Like, you know, like I just want to be the best for her. Like if I have a child, I want them to know like I'm their mum and I've done that, you know, like that's all I want, to be fair. And I think I want more young chefs to post their dishes, like share them and post them, put a video out. So many people are like, how do I start social media? I'm like, you don't need to do it like me. You don't need to do it like me at all, but post your dishes, take that little video of something, like take a small video of your dish, like just so it's there, like not remembering it, you've got it there visually for other people to see as well. That's what's great.
I think that's amazing. Is that when you say you're scrolling on Pinterest to look at plating ideas, they're all individual people that have decided to show what they're proud of, and people are gaining interest of it. If your post gets 100 views, imagine 100 people in one room, and they're all looking at your one plate of food. No, it doesn't happen anymore.
Terrifying. I think, like, you know, you went to Billie Eilish, like, you look around and see all those people. I think I went to a concert the other day, and my friend was like, can you believe that this amount of people doesn't match up to the amount of people that are watching you? And it did take me back, and I was like, it's actually crazy. Like, it's insane that you can have that much influence on people. And yeah, scrolling through Pinterest, people have that. That's where I take my inspiration from.
It's that level of
Enjoyment.
influence and enjoyment. You don't have to be an influencer to influence. Like, you don't have to have a massive following. Like, I think it almost comes from it almost resonates more powerfully when there is someone exactly the same. There is someone in the exact same position of you, and they're showing what they can do. And it is, if you post what you are enjoying, other people are going to enjoy it. There's such a market for people just enjoying what they do.
I did ask people if they have anything to ask us. Someone said how to recover from burnout while still having to work.
Okay. Still having to work. What do we mean?
I think she means like if you burn out but you still need to go to work. Like you're still really tired and you're dead, but you still need to go do your shift.
Okay.
Let's do
I don't like the phrase have to. I think you work to live. You don't live to work.
Yeah.
So I think knowing you don't have to work. Obviously there's money side of it. People need to be able to live. So like you work to live, but don't wake up every day knowing like dreading a shift, because that's what I mean. Like hospitality is so amazing, but some places just don't respect people's mental health. Like if you're dreading your shift, that's someone else's problem. That's like someone else's doing, because there's no reason that you should be dreading a shift, because it should be something not to look forward to. Like, it is work at the end of the day,
You should at least be happy. Like,
but you shouldn't have to drag yourself out of bed to do
No.
a shift, because
sometimes even when I'm burnt out from like say like New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
like that will drain us out. Or like see if I'm tired, but I'm like I'm still like I'm gonna wake up and get ready for work. Like still excited to
Yeah.
get to work.
I think with burnout, it's such a horrible thing that you can't fix burnout by still burning yourself out and work. If you're getting burnt out from doing 60 hours a week, and next week you're doing 60 hours a week, you're not going to fix that burnout.
Yeah, you need to cut it down.
Just cut it down, or value a time off, and also just being open with your management team or your senior team. Just saying, look, I'm knackered, like I'm so tired. Is there anything you can do to help? I know I was working and just said over the Christmas period, like, I am so tired. I haven't done a day off. Can I have one? And she was like, oh my God, of course. Like, I didn't know it was getting to that. Just being open about how you're feeling is so invaluable, I think.
Yeah, I did have a guy like that. He said to me, I'm working like 70 hours. And I went, you need to ask to cut down your hours. And he said that you can't. And I was like, no, you can. I said, no one is in the position to tell you that. You need to keep working that much because you're going to destroy yourself at that point. How would you help someone adjust to a new work environment?
Okay. So like going into a new job role. I think Candice said just be a sponge. Learn everything. Also, there's a chef on social media, and he says, don't assume you know much. Like, some people might want something differently. I think there's a phrase where head chefs say, like, do as I mean, not what I say. I think there's such a big miscommunication where you don't know unless you ask. Always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Even if they're stupid, just if you feel like they're stupid, someone will like, can I ask you a silly question? Like, it's not silly.
Just don't ask the same question twice. But you can ask a million questions, but make sure you're listening to the answer, and that's all you can be asked of. I know it's not your fault if you don't know information, and you don't go into a job as someone who knows the job. Otherwise, that wouldn't make any sense. You're going into that role to learn, so just do that. Just ask questions, just learn. If that place doesn't want you to learn, then they're going to be treated bad. They're going to be in a bad place if they don't help you learn, because you're not going to then know it.
If kitchens should have more of a neurodiverse safe space within the kitchen environment with those who get overwhelmed with tickets, prep work, and how to organise themselves.
Okay, I think that comes from a leadership point of view. I don't think, coming from someone who maybe had like been diagnosed with a couple of things, like, the kitchen shouldn't have a specific area for neurodivergent people.
Yeah.
The whole place should be accessible, and I think that just comes through training and just, again, being open. With a good team, you should be able to talk about anything.
100%. And I feel like everyone should I don't think it should just be a kitchen having that space for them. I think just everyone naturally in life should just have that mentality of navigating different people's personalities and how they react to things. And, you know, I have a girl at work, and the one I was talking about, and she can get very flustered, and I will, like, you know, I'm like, it's fine. I said, we'll do one job at a time. You know, we don't need to rush. We don't need to, you know, they have this idea in their head that they need to get, you know, things out like bang, bang, bang. I'm like, you don't. I said, these customers are happy to wait. That's why they've come here. They want to eat the food, so we don't need to rush.
A phrase I like is, it's just lunch or it's just dinner. Like, if you were at home and your mom was cooking you food and she just went, oh, it's going to be a bit late, 5 minutes late, you're not going to be bothered. I hate when I'm at a restaurant and I order something and it comes 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, I haven't spoke or I haven't enjoyed the place yet.
Yeah,
I think that's something people don't want. They don't want to feel like they're being ushered out straight away. People come to enjoy eating out. It's getting more and more expensive, So like that's something that is just happening. Like cost of living's going up, food is more expensive, the restaurants are becoming more expensive. If you go to eat and you feel like you're just being pushed out as soon as you get in, that's you're not going to enjoy that. So don't worry about getting food out straight away. Worry that the food goes out in such a manner where they've they've put a lot of. It's hard to get a spare bit of money now. So as chefs or as front of house, we should recognize that it's such an honor to that people are using their money that they've saved or earned and they want to spend it on your food. Just take a breath and get that food out looking as good as you can make it. And it takes the management to see, oh, you get flustered with checks. How would you like to receive what is on the order?
Yeah.
Because it is stressful because there is a lot of people and it is a big honor to be able to cook this food, especially in like really posh restaurants. Like I worked in a place where it was like £300 a person, and loads of chickens come on, and you'll be really stressed. But it takes someone to just be like, calm down.
Yeah.
We'll get this food out, and it's going to be nice.
But also think don't be afraid to ask for help.
No.
Like I think that's people think asking for help makes you weak or like you're not strong enough, but don't be afraid to just ask someone for help, really. How can we ensure that young people get looked after and treated properly in kitchens, especially young girls, and not normalising abuse in kitchens?
I think we start normalising respect. I think, as we've said, is becoming our industry. If we learn how we know how we want to be treated, so we just need to resonate that into our industry, and it just happens through the right people being in terms of leadership. Um, so the Burnt Chef Project does free mental health courses and management training for businesses. So they'll go into the leadership and they'll teach people how to create a nice working environment.
Yeah.
Which is what the Burnt Chef Project is striving for, is hospitality to become amazing again. So I think it just comes with time, but it also comes with if the industry is, if you have a bad experience in the industry, try remember for yourself, like it is an amazing industry. This person has just treated you badly because there might be something going on at home that's not good. I know you said your head chef is like a family man.
Yeah.
The fact that he obviously cares for his family. He will then care for you. I think some people have bad circumstances, and obviously not everyone can be in a great mood. But if you're in a horrible mood, don't take it out on everyone else. Just say to them, "Look, I'm in a bad mood. I might be a bit short of temper today."
Yeah.
I think it's just.
I think that is one way we can, normalise not having abuse in kitchens, and it's not. I think it's just speaking up about it more, being open about your situation. Like if you're not in the best headspace, just say, if someone's being mean to you, just speak to them or speak to someone else. I think it is just about speaking up. I think if we don't speak up about these things or talk about these subjects, then it's just going to be normalised that abuse is happening in kitchens. It's going to be normalised that young people get disrespected more unless we speak up and say something. And I think that's just super important.
Yeah. And it is through just sparking the conversation. But I think what's also great about hospitality is I moved out when I was 16, and my head chef almost became like not a father figure, but if they really care for you, you just feel like so like welcomed and cared. Like I remember I left the job because I was like treated horribly and didn't have a job for like a month, and I joined this job. And they said, "Look, you're going to get paid next month because you've joined in the middle of the month." And I was like, "Okay." Spoke to the head chef, saying like, "I just had 6 weeks off work. I'm like really poor." And he said, "Oh, look, I can give you some money," because he was in such a like. It's amazing to have that level of like, you are older than me, you can care, like being younger. being younger, sometimes we do just need someone that cares, and
especially being away from home, I feel like it's important to have those people around you. Like, I think I always joke and say like my head chefs and like another chef at work, they're like my work dads, my work mums, and I think it's what you need. And then having like a nice relationship as well. Also, it's also what you need. And it's good that you spoke up about it and just said that you need help.
Yeah, and thank you to all the chefs out there that maybe we haven't seen every nice chef, or thank you to all the nice chefs out there. Like, thank you. Like, it's making hospitality amazing again, and more of us are coming through. And the more younger people that talk about mental health, and the more times mental health is spoken about, the better it becomes, because people are starting to care for it. People are really looking after it.
Yeah, there's just a bad stigma about people, having mental health problems in the kitchen. You're weak, you're not great, you're not a good chef, like, you shouldn't have mental health issues. But I think it's fine. Everyone has a problem, and like, the more we speak about it, the better it will just get. And I hope it gets better, because I've not seen people cry in a kitchen in a long time.
It's gonna get better as long as we start being put off by bad experiences.
I think just being open about it as well.
Just talking, knowing what we all want. No one wants to work in an industry where you're getting pots thrown at you.
No.
No one wants that. No. Even throwing a pot, why would you want that?
Yeah, like, you don't need to do that. And I think just speaking about it and just being vulnerable, like, I shared a video of me crying. Like, I had a bad shift and I was just in tears and I was crying, and I was like, it's going to be stupid for me to just prop my phone up and record me crying. But I was like, I think I need to do this to show people that, like, I'm feeling the way you're feeling sometimes, but I'm showing you that someone else feels like that too. And I think just speak to your chefs how you're feeling, because there might be someone at work that feels the same way as you, but they're just not speaking about it. And you might just be able to go through it together. So a lot of people are like, oh my god, I'm like glad you posted this because I feel the same way. And I just think it's good just to be open about how you feel and vulnerable. And
yeah, that's it. It's just talking about it. Talk about your experiences and what you want in the industry, because as we've said a lot, it's an amazing industry. Hospitality is the greatest place to be, because there's no other place where you can care for someone so much. And there's no other place where you join a team and it becomes such a family.
Yeah.
Like, we do spend a lot of hours together.
You see them more than you do your own family.
Of course, so just have that care for the people we work with. It seems so simple. I don't know if it's just simple because we've grown up in a place where mental health is more talked about.
Yeah.
But that just comes from talking about it. Let's just talk about it. If you've had a bad experience, don't be afraid to talk about it on social media. Share your greatest moments, but also share like some of the lowest ones, because there's people that are going through these bad experiences. And if you show your confidence of, yes, I've been down, but here's what I did to get up, then someone else can use that.
Just share anything. I think that's what I've learned on social media, just to share my good days, share my bad days, share my little rants, share if someone's got a problem with me, and I'm happy to address it how I want to address it. But yeah, just speak to anyone, your mum, your dad, your sister. Talk to people at work. Like, just speak to them. The amount of random girls I've met in changing rooms, I'm just talking to them, because that's like, one day she might be upset or I might be upset. Like, just speak to everyone, care for everyone, and just be nice people. Any last words from the Burnt Chef Project?
Well, I think we've covered a lot from the Burnt Chef Project. It's an amazing charity that you should, of course, check out.
Yes, 100%.
And yeah, so these talks, getting this spread out, it's reaching a lot of people. Obviously, if we can move more few people sharing, that would be amazing. But this industry is amazing, so let's just let that resonate with a lot of people. You've had a bad experience, and a lot of people have had bad experiences with this industry. There are times where this industry can break you, and I've had it where I've hated this industry and I've hated this whole thing, and why do I want to get up so early to serve these people? But love what you do, and love the food you get to work with, and love the people you work with. Like, it's such a team and a family that you can just enjoy it, and just that's all I think is just enjoy it. It can feel stressful when there's a lot of tickets, but if you've got a good team and a good like understanding of each other, if one of you's stressed, then someone else can join on and help it go easy. So just enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy the rush, enjoy the adrenaline.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it anywhere else. Like a kitchen has adrenaline. It's a different kind of feeling that you get when you've sent everything out and finished for the day. It's the relief and the breath there that you get, but then you want to do it all over again for some reason. So just enjoy it, enjoy work, enjoy time. And thank you for coming all this way.
No, it's been
Thank
good.
you for
Manchester's
wanting
amazing.
to do this with me out of all people. So that makes me feel honoured, feel good.
Yeah, it has been good, and yeah, get us out there.
Beautiful.
Smashed it.
Thank you. Like, subscribe, share this. Yeah, just get this out everywhere, please. But yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah.